Everybody, this is Mark Maxwell of Mark Maxwell and Friends. This is episode 1 with my best friend, one of my best friends. We met in college. He wrote three books?
Well, 4.
You wrote 3, but you got 4 coming.
No, I wrote 3, but I have one that I wrote with somebody else.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that was the first one, and then I have 3 on my own.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Well, Mark Maxwell and Friends. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about your books. We're gonna talk about current events. We're gonna talk about what we did in college. Hope it won't fit nobody. We're gonna talk about the state of education now because we've been through it. Because we're recent graduates. We old heads, but you know we still did it. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was a bigger accomplishment doing it when you're older than when I was younger. Because when I was younger, man, education was like I went because a girl went to school. I went to school, right. So I went to the military after that. But you know that was a lesson learned. You know what I'm saying? So the Navy made me better when I got older to learn in school, and then I came up with like a 3.7 average or something like that. But it comes and goes. I mean, like my children, they in school, they're adults, and I'm glad they doing it because back then I didn't have the discipline at all.
I know that's right.
I was too wild. I was what they call it, ADD and ADD. They ain't had no name. It was sit your ass down. Sit your tail down. But what was the first book though?
The
first introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Yancey Uriah. I'm the president and CEO of Unstoppable Hustle LLC. Mm-hmm. And my first published piece was an anthology with MC Pro called Boys Will Be Boys. Mm-hmm. And then from then I did Hood's Product and The Pretty Crazies and Linkage.
Which one was the first actual one though of your series?
My first book was Hood's Product. Was my first book by myself.
Okay. So Hood's Product. How did you? I mean, before you did that collaboration, writing. Did you write before?
I always wrote. Like when I was in school, I was real bad, and the only way that the teacher could get me to sit down was that she would have to let me read something I wrote. That's the only way I would be quiet in class.
What?
Yeah, so I have always wrote, and then I got the opportunity to work with MC Pro, and then from there I just started doing my own thing.
Okay. So, like me, I like to write. What would you tell somebody if they have it on their heart and they write? Where would they start at though? Where would they? Would they take what they have? Would they go by natural experience? Should they just?
It's always best, especially if you're writing fiction. It's always best to write about what you know, or to let a large part of what you write about be like the biggest element of what you write. Okay.
So, like, if I like science fiction,
then you would put that. You would put that in your.
Because that's a part of me.
Yeah, and then it would make it seem more real because like all of my novels are based around the church.
Okay.
So
is it more of like, because you know how the church is, everybody putting church on TV now. Mm-hmm. So you got the green leaves and all that stuff. But I have read a couple chapters of your books, and I mean you very detailed.
Right. I think my version of church is a little more raw than the green leaf.
Okay, so tell me such as what,
like because in Hood's Product, that book was basically about a woman who had fallen in love with her pastor, and when the pastor would not leave his wife for her, then she started making decisions that affected her daughters.
Wow.
And it's a lot of crazy stuff that happens to our daughters.
So Hood's Product is the first book?
Yes, Hood's Product is the first book. Hood's Product and The Pretty Crazy and Linkage, they have nothing to do with each other.
Oh, so it's not a...
no, but there is going to be a part 2 to Hood's Product. There's going to be a part 2 to The Pretty Crazies. But there's not going to be a part 2 to Linkage. Linkage is done.
So what excited you the most when you finished that first book? What was your thoughts? Give us the details of from beginning to end when you wrote the book and how you got it published and printed and everything.
Well, actually, I had wrote Hood's product for somebody else. And I was going to be their ghostwriter. And I had wrote it for them, but then when it came time to pay, the person didn't want to pay me. So I kept the story for I don't know how long in my laptop. And then MC Pope told me, he said, well, why don't you just put it out as an ebook and see what happened? So I did, and I got like a lot of reaction. And I started to get checks from Amazon. So I was like, well, shoot, if I get a little check, maybe I should try to do some more. So I like rewrote it and I combined it with part 2, and then I put it in one book. So actually the next Hood's product installment is going to be part 3 because if you get the paperback, part 1 and 2 is together in the paperback
of Hood's product. So you went immediately to Amazon, did an audio for it?
No, I would suggest anybody my suggestion is to really learn the publishing business. And then it's best to like do it yourself. It's not as hard as a lot of people make it out to be. So when I had originally published Hood's product, it was published as a ebook. And to do an ebook, all you need is a cover, and you can take your document after you type it, and you can upload it on Amazon, and people can buy it.
Okay.
Download it.
So what I'm thinking is independence is great for especially like independent, being writing your own stuff and owning your own stuff.
Yes, because the book industry is just like the music industry. I have heard stories of like there was, and I'm not gonna call that name, but there was a individual that was locked up, and he had wrote books for a well-known fiction author. And if anybody is like really into the book world, they know who these two people are. We ain't talk about nobody, but we ain't talk about it. But he was actually writing books for this.
So there's ghostwriters for book writers also, just like in music.
Yes, it's ghostwriters. But anyway, and that's what he was doing. And when the man got out of jail, the person he was writing for put a hold on his books. So he wasn't even able to publish anything. So that's why it's very important, like whatever you're going to go into, whatever business, you have to educate yourself. And if won't nobody tell you what to do like I did. Go to Amazon and order books on it. You can get books from Amazon for a penny. So there's no excuse not knowing.
And that's another thing I talk to people about is like ownership. And also searching for information.
Right.
We look on our phones all day long.
Right. But now
and Google.
Yeah.
To see a fight.
Yeah.
See the first person to get hurt or see an accident or film the highway or something. But there's information in our hand that we don't even.
Yeah. And all you got to do is step in. So many people get taken advantage of because they don't educate themselves.
So how you go about owning your own thing? How the copyright thing goes though?
You copyright with the state. I mean, you copyright with DC. You can send it to the copyright office in DC, and it's $35. Now I'm going to tell you what I learned in copywriting my books. You can only copyright the written part of the book. You cannot copyright the cover unless you actually created the cover yourself. See, the covers of my books I didn't create. Somebody else created them.
So they had to copyright that for themselves.
No. Okay, the girl that does my book covers, once she does the book cover and she sells it to me, it's mine. But the copyright office is not going to let you copyright it because you didn't create it.
How would they know that?
I mean, I told them I didn't create it, but I guess if you tell them you created it, then it's not nothing that they could do since you paid for it.
That's what I'm thinking about ownership. Like if somebody drew this picture, right, and they sold it to me, and that's the only copy, it should be mine then, right? In some way.
And that's how I felt about the book cover, because that's how I said, well, I bought the book cover from the girl. I paid for it. She said, yeah, but you didn't create it.
So the copyright thing, is that Library of Congress?
Yeah,
that's how that goes down.
Once you copyright your book, you can actually file for a Library of Congress number. That's different.
And so they're two different things.
Yes, and the number is free. Once you file for it, they'll send you the number, and when you print your book, you can put the number inside of the book.
So how does that protect you, such as, because you already got a copyright?
Oh, well, the copyright
is the protection.
Yeah, the copyright is the protection. Your book being in the Library of Congress is so now it's available to other libraries and stuff.
Probably everybody in the world can go look it up.
Yeah, they can go get it.
Wow. So you copyrighted it.
You copyright.
So did you do the Library of Congress? You did Library of Congress. That's what that little print inside the thing be, that little public, Library of Congress, so on, so on, so. Okay, so copyright is very important. $35 you said, right?
Yes, it's $35.
And we in government, so taxes might, they might raise some things. But is that for one book, or you have to do it for each book?
Each book.
So each book $35.
Each book is $35.
But after a while, you should,
Yeah, and it's not, and believe it or not, it's worth that $35. And then another important thing to remember is that if you get a couple books out and you have a publishing company that's interested in you, make sure you do not sign away your copyright, because a lot of people do just sign them away. Yep, and then they don't get them back.
Wow.
Because I was actually offered a book deal from this publisher in Florida, and the publisher is doing great. They've taken some of their books and they're now turning the books into movies. But the deal they offered me, I was not about to give the rights of my books up to nobody.
Yeah, because I know in the long run, when they start doing movies, merchandising,
and when they do a movie of your book, if you are signed to a publishing company, you have no right to say whether I want them to do the book or whether I want them to do the movie. So that's why rights falls with the publishing company.
So that's why J.K. Rowling was so important in her deal with Warner Brothers, because she put in their creative control.
Right.
So you want creative control. But does the publishing company, I wonder, does the publishing company get credit instead of you getting credit for the creation of the book? If they do a movie or something.
Well, I don't think that they would get credit for the creation of the book, but they will still own the rights to the book.
So they'll get the money.
Yeah.
Your name be up there.
Yeah, your name will be up there, but you might not get the money from it. So you got to be careful with stuff like that.
So independence is good.
Independence is good, but you're gonna have to have some money with being independent, and you're gonna have to learn how to sacrifice.
And that goes into distribution. That's why those big companies are important.
And even with the distribution, you actually can get a distribution deal without being signed to a publishing company. The only thing is you have to be careful with some of these distributors, because they'll get your books and then you won't get your money.
So this is where my knowledge come in about that then. Because I'm gonna go back to movies. Everybody know Marvel. And everybody knows that Marvel bought Fox and they got all their characters back with the X-Men and stuff like that. Right. But they made a deal with Universal with the Incredible Hulk. And that's the reason why they don't do a solo movie of Incredible Hulk, because Universal has the distribution rights to the Hulk.
Oh, wow.
So anytime they make a movie, if they made a solo movie, Universal automatically gets the distribution rights.
Right.
So they get paid for distributing the movie. And I understand that now. When you just said that makes a lot of sense. Distribution separate from what's called, the distributors make a lot of money.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
So how does that affect, such as in the community of being a minority? Do we have any distribution companies? Because I know at one point we didn't.
Well, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know of any black-owned distribution company.
Yeah.
Now there may be some out there, but I don't know.
But then you have conglomerates like Universal, Warner Brothers, which own their own distribution, so they don't have no need for nobody else. But that's strange and weird. So if Amazon is helping you distribute you audio,
now let me tell you about Amazon. This is my fault with Amazon. Is this when you do an ebook on Amazon? Amazon gives the reader.
I'm smoking cigarettes, y'all. Bad for kids.
Amazon gives the readers 14 days to read their book. So if it's somebody that like to read and they knock your book out in 5 days, then they can go to Amazon and be like, look, I did not like this book. I want my money back, and you
like a
refund.
refund.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I only have one book available as an ebook on Amazon. I'm starting at the beginning of the year. I'm gonna have everything available from my website. Because once you buy it from my website, ain't no refund.
Another thing I found out about Amazon. Amazon makes their money in this web server. It's a web server company. And that's why they're able to sell their stuff and do things like that. Because all they have to do is put the kickback, the loss, into that company that's making all the money.
Oh,
and they get a tax credit for that. That's why Amazon don't pay a lot of taxes. Y'all can look that up. But I think that's right because I looked it up.
Oh, wow.
One time I found that out. That's why all these companies get these credits and stuff because they own multiple divisions. That's why they separate companies into divisions. So if one division don't make a lot of money, they can take a loss in the part of the company that's making all the money, and they get credit for that.
Oh wow!
So that's why they probably do that 14-day thing.
Oh yeah, 14 days.
14 days. So the best way is to do your own .com or .net.
Yes, and then let me tell you something about that. Whatever your name is, your pen name is, you need to go ahead and you need to get the domain for that. The domain is only 99 cents. But what people will do if they start to see the name, they will buy the name and then they will like try to charge you. Because when I had got the domain for Unstoppable Hustle, I couldn't get unstoppablehustle.com because somebody had bought it for 99 cents, but they wanted to sell it to me for $2,000.
So how did they go about it? Go and buy it for 99 cents. How did you go about? Is it somewhere I can go?
You can go if you go to GoDaddy.com. You can type in whatever you want your .com to be, and then they will tell you that it's available. And if it is available, it's best to go ahead and get it, even if you don't have your website and stuff up, because once you pay for it, it's yours for 2 years.
And then somebody has to come to you and buy
to get it if you decide not to.
That's how people do Twitter too, because somebody takes somebody's name, they want to use their name. Somebody will like, hey, I'll sell it to you. The handle, like,
and that is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but the world of business is like that. I understand because we business majors, and I see how things work. It's the first person who gets to the finish line.
Right.
It's always that. And we can't get mad at them because we'll do the same.
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that?
Because I'm saying, if you got somebody's domain name that's going to go to their business.
Because I remember you talking about
this. Why would I hold something that it's your business? You have made this name recognizable, so why would I keep you from making your money? But so
that's how the world. They call these people domain hunters or something.
Yeah,
like
and
they buy these names.
And I actually read a book. I want to say the book was by Mark Graham. I think that's the boy name. Well, anyway,
Mark Graham. Keep on talking about it. Let me see.
I think his name Mark Graham. Anyway, the cover of the book is lime green, and he's standing on the cover of the book, and it talked about how he started all of these business from when he was like 9 and 10 years old. Okay. And he said that's what he started doing. He would go and he would buy these domain names. Wow. And he would hold them. And they was like, he said that he bought the domain name for Ford Motor Company. He bought it as a child, and they had to pay him like so many thousands of dollars before he released it to them. I think his name Mark. I might have his name wrong, but
they got Mark and Graham. I don't see Mark Graham though.
I can't think of what his name is, but I remember he wrote a book about starting all of these businesses.
We're not geniuses, y'all. We don't remember everything. I know everything.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I remember some of the stuff.
So this show is about Mark Maxwell and Friends. It's about helping friends, but also provoking thought too, because people need to go look stuff up.
Right.
If I tell you something, please go look it up. Don't take CNN or MSNBC or Fox.
Research.
Go find your information. That's so important. Like he did. He went and found out about Library of Congress, copyright,
publish,
and that's why I'm having this show, because you can inform people so they won't trip when they start to do something.
Yeah, and you can save yourself so much money. And I know some people be like, well, I don't have a lot of money like that. anything that you want to do, you could go to Amazon, you could type in a book about whatever the subject is, and when it comes up, you can see like the price of the book, but if you scroll under the picture, it will tell you that they have this book available for a penny or for $1 or for $2. It's a used book, but you still getting the same information.
Okay, that's cool. That makes a lot of sense to me now because I write poetry, and only one thing that has stopped me is procrastination.
Right.
So how do you beat procrastination? How do you beat that? I call procrastination the enemy of me, because it's me actually beating myself from stopping me from doing something. So how did you get over, like, hey, when you started writing the book, did you stop a couple times while you was writing that book, or did you have gaps in the time that you from completion to end?
Now, well, me, the thing about me is I have a vision in mind of where I want to be. So that's what keeps me going, even when I don't want to write, or even when cause see, well, I ain't gonna say I don't want to write, cause I always want to write, because my mind is always running with stories, but I just don't really feel like sit down, at the computer typing. But you just gotta push yourself.
Okay, so like me, when I write, most of my writing is on, text or on the thing, but I do a lot of writing by pen and pencil, because that's so natural to me.
Right.
I know these days educated kids don't even do cursive anymore.
But I know it was.
I like to write on paper for some reason.
It's an author. I'm trying to think whether it's I don't know if it's Stephen King or James Patterson, but one of those two. I think it might be James Patterson. He actually writes his novels by hand first.
Okay.
And then he goes back and type them.
So how you get through dialogue? Like someone speaking to someone, the structure of the book, things like that, such as, do you already have a thought in mind and then you just write it out first and then you put the dialogue in? Or?
How I start my books is I could actually see a picture, I could hear somebody say something, and it will spark something, and then I just start writing.
Okay. So like me, well, I'm gonna tell you what I do. Like I got a bunch of books right now, but if I have like a subject matter in my mind and I see it clearly, I'll write a description real quick.
Right.
And then I can come back to it later if I'm already writing something else. Cause I just wrote my first script. Actually, I want you to see it.
All right now.
Because I just wrote my first script, and that's what I think about. I have something in my head, and I want to envision. I just go ahead and write it out.
Right.
When I write the first, I won't write no dialogue for it. I just write the story itself, and then I enter my characters and stuff like that. And that's how I do it. I mean, that helps me out. And then I can go back to that character. I have a description of the character,
right,
who that person is, and things like that.
And when you're dealing with writing, everybody got to understand it's like no set way to write. Everybody writes different. Mm-hmm. Like some people don't write. Some people get a mic and they speak into the computer and they let the computer do the typing. Then some people like the handwriting. It all depends on. It all depends on what works for you.
Okay, so when you got through your first book. Did you have any gaps? Did you have any writer's block? And how did you get over it and things like that?
If you do, I really don't have writer's block like that. But if you do have writer's block, you just take, you can step away from it and, and go do something or go walk somewhere or something.
So you do yours on computer?
Yeah, well, I do some of it on computer and some of it I handwrite.
Okay. So yeah, that's why I can't get to the computer thing yet. I can't do the computer thing yet. I tried talking, like even voice record stuff, but then I just like it feels so much better and comfortable
when you write
on paper and stuff like that. So you did your first book. How long did it take you?
It didn't take me long. Like I said, I actually wrote that book for somebody. Mm-hmm. They had actually seen my work with MC Poe, mm-hmm, and they asked me to do a book, mm-hmm, with them. So I started when the person contacted me that night. I had knocked out like the first 4 chapters of the book. Wow. And I text the person like the first chapter. I said, tell me what you think. He was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I want. And so, and so when, and like I said, when it came down to him actually paying me, and I wanted my money before I finished the book, then he had a problem.
Okay, while everybody's right here listening to us or viewing us on YouTube or whatever platform we use, how would they find you though? We're gonna continue talking, y'all. But how would they find your books on Amazon?
You could just go to Amazon and you could type in Yancey Uriah, and then my books will pop up. Hood's product and linkage are in paperback form only, but the Pretty Crazy is in paperback form and ebook form, so you can get either or.
Okay. So what I'm telling people, what I want people to know also, because me and you became friends. I'm gonna tell you when we became friends on the Charlotte trip. So the Charlotte trip, y'all.
I had so much fun in Charlotte. I'm telling y'all.
And that's a time after my dad passed, and you know, and my dad passed in 2018, day after Christmas, and I wasn't even thinking about going to the state for PBLA. I guess we could talk about PBLA. That's a business. It's almost like a fraternity, almost.
Yeah, it's something like that for business.
But with the Charlotte, and you showed me something because I was down, bro. I was down and out. I didn't want to do nothing. You know how it was when I first got on the thing. I was quiet. I was like, you know, I like to run my mouth, but I was just out of it. But when you came on the bus, it was just for three of us, me, you, and Mike Parker. And Mike, we're gonna get Mike in a little bit. Mike is a genius. I mean, he's so smart. But we're gonna talk about the details about the trip. But it was just three of us, and all of us are different.
Yes, completely.
I'm the cursor. I'm the MF, SHIT, everything else. I'm just cuss because. But I make sure I use it in an intelligent way though. I don't be like just bullshit and all this and all that and cursing just for fun of it. But the aspect of us, I summed that up too for me, that trip was like the Million Man March for me.
Oh wow.
That was like, I was so down and out. But when y'all got on the thing, and I don't think we even slept when we was driving all the way to Charlotte.
I don't remember going to sleep.
We was just talking and the talk. And then we got into the house. You know, we get around strangers, people you never been with in the house. You don't know how you got to dress or how to get in the shower or, you know, things like that. But what you showed me that night, because I don't think I did impromptu speaking. So that's off the cuff. That means that's how this works.
Yes.
You go in there, they give you a subject, you walk out, and then you walk it back in and you talk about it. And I'm gonna tell you what the lady did to me, and that and this is when I knew I was like, man, I got something. I'm kind of talented. I can talk. I love to talk.
Right.
The lady said, after I finished, I looked at her, and she said, that is the most touching thing I ever heard in my life. I ain't get first place though, I'm mad. But I came in 7th against University. We in community college, y'all. We're going against Duke.
Yes, it was good.
Against North Carolina State. We was going against some big dogs.
I don't care, that was good for us.
Out of the 100 counties in North Carolina, I came in 7th. I said, okay. And what place you go?
I came in number 4.
And
in public speaking.
In public speaking.
Yeah.
Y'all check this out. Let me tell the story though. So we get in the house that night.
Oh God.
Before public speaking. And we were like, yeah, so what you got, man? We supposed been doing this for a year, y'all.
A whole year. Yeah.
We know for probably more than that. A year and a half.
You know,
I
wait till the last.
It was from that. It was spring 2018, fall 2018.
Yeah, it was a long time.
And then spring, because it was at the end of spring, we went to the competition. So we're like, man, Yancey got his stuff, man. Yancey was like, damn, man, you gonna write that tonight?
Yeah, and I wrote mine the night before.
And you know what, though? We pulled together, though. as you know, we stayed up with each other, we talked to each other, you know what I'm saying? And that was the best thing that ever happened to me, bro. That was the most refreshing thing, to be around people like me who wanted to do things. And even when I came and said, I don't know my certificate is, I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, I got mine on my phone. This certificate means something, right?
But the thing about it though was we got to meet people.
Yeah.
Who didn't look down on us because it was from a community college.
Right.
We met people who took our phone numbers down. We were on Facebook with them. We took pictures. I got pictures. Remember all them pictures I put on Facebook because I was Facebooking down everything. But yeah, I'm country. I'm gonna be saying thing and all that stuff and all that crazy. But that doesn't measure your intelligence,
right?
It was the fact that people of all colors were there, and we talked to each other with a commonality and about business. I learned more about that weekend about business and what I wanted to do.
Right.
In my life, what I had worked so hard for other companies. I worked for some good companies, bro. And my passion, it made my passion grow to do media on my own.
Right. And
I said one day, I told Yancey, remember I told you, I said, Yancey, you're going to be on my first podcast. And actually it came from fruition to today because you're doing my first podcast. Oh, wow. Because when I saw you write and I saw these books and people reading them, I said, man, these people reading them books. You remember I took your cards? I said, I'm going to pass these cards around. Yeah. I said, give them cards. I'm going to pass these cards around. Somebody going to buy something today. But that's what I like to do. I want to make sure that feeling I have, I want all of us to feel like that we can help each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that brought me out of my shell because I was hurt so bad about my dad at that point in time, man. I didn't know what to do. And that helped me out, like counseling wise. To hear, we was in the bus talking about religion one time. And I'm telling y'all, the worst things to talk about people is religion and politics. We don't more detail. But it got heated. It got so heated.
It got heated.
I didn't want to talk to a certain person no more.
I said, oh my God.
And Yancey looked at me like, I said, man, I'm a grown man. I said, you gotta let it go, bro. I said, man, my mouth is too foul. Let's let it go. But we had fun. We pulled it together, and we ate together, and we shared our life together for just that, what, 3 days, 2 days?
Yeah, and we ate some. Well, I know I ate some stuff I probably would have never ate.
We went to that. Oh my God, y'all!
Oh,
we went to the largest Asian buffet I ever seen. I seen some big ones.
I don't even know what this stuff is.
But that was the great thing about it.
It was fun though. I ain't gonna lie. We went to that bed and breakfast.
Yeah,
and see
Airbnb.
And see that night, I don't know. I think Michael went somewhere, and I think you went to a party, and Mr. Wham went to the gym. But I stayed at the house.
Oh,
when I was
down. So we went back to the hotel.
Okay, so see, I didn't go. I stayed at the house at Ed. Okay.
Yeah, our professor, our instructor, our chaperone, he went to, we ain't gonna say his name. Probably say it a while ago, but don't worry about it. But he went somewhere.
Bleep it out.
Yeah. He went somewhere. I think he went to work out. Me and Mike went to the place. Went to the conference, back to the conference hall where the hotel was in there. But we did go to the party.
Oh, for real?
But it wasn't like a party.
I can't believe Michael went to no party.
Yeah, me and Mike went to the party, but then me and Mike went to go get pizza at. Did you go to Blaze Pizza with me?
Cause
that's the same night, ain't it?
I stayed home. Remember, I stayed at the place.
I'm not supposed to say Blaze Pizza, but that's the best pizza I ever ate in my life.
I stayed at the place, and I went in and I had ordered some pizza and stuff. I just stayed.
You ordered Domino's that night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to Blaze, and me and Mike went. I took Mike there because he never been there before. It's pretty good pizza. It ain't the best nowhere. I taste the best, but it's just the fact of how they deal with it. But anyway, we went that night, and I forgot. So we already did the competition, didn't we?
I think we had. I'm trying to think.
Because next day we had to show up and get some points for something for showing up to different. conferences, different meetings.
But and let me tell you what was so crazy. We weren't even gonna stay. You remember we was gonna leave before they gave out the certificate. Well, I don't know if y'all was. I don't know what was going on.
We stayed for the dinner, right? It was a dinner, right?
Yes, but you know when they was giving out the awards, we was gonna leave, and everybody was like, "Well, we might as well leave." And the professor kept saying, "Well, just stay until the ceremony is over." Because I know it shocked me when they called my name.
Did we stay that night? We left right after we won the awards.
Yes, we left right after because remember we got on our bus.
Oh yeah. It wasn't crazy. We act like normal human beings, but we went to the movies. What movie did we see?
I don't know what y'all want to saw, but I want to saw the movie with
P. Henson, right?
Yeah, and she was playing that old
one that was made in North Carolina.
Yeah, and she was friends with this white man.
We saw Shazam, I think.
Okay, because I know we didn't go in the same movie.
Did I go in that movie by myself? I went to Shazam by myself.
And I think all of us went to see different movies.
Yeah, I think everybody.
Because I know I was in the movie theater I was the only one of us that was there.
I think I saw Shazam. I probably got one.
But yeah, I remember I seen that movie with Taraji P. Henson.
Okay, so all right, yeah, that's right. So how have you been doing the COVID thing though? Since the COVID hit, how you been doing?
I've been fine. I'm just ready for it to be over with.
Yeah, like it seems like Texas and Florida like bump it. We're gonna do our thing anyway. But the thing about Texas is though, they open full capacity. I think what it is, but you have to wear a mask. I think they're doing it right.
Like they don't want to.
Now I have friends. Now it's just a weird thing because everybody got their variation of stories, and to everyone who has passed, to their families and stuff, bless them and stuff. I mean, it's hard when it hits your family and somebody passed. Like I had a friend, and she was telling me her aunt and mom. She stayed with her aunt and mom. Her aunt or mom had it first, but all three of them ended up having it. Like one of the elderly ones they had to take to the hospital, but everybody's okay.
Right.
But it's just so weird. But the things about it is though, I just don't like the parts where media is just talking about the death and not the survival.
Right.
Because of 200,000 people, we got over 340 million people in America. Let's talk about what's the preventions of it? Why are people getting sick? What's the underlying things? Because I was type 2 diabetic years back, and I had to lose a lot of weight. And when I lost all that weight, my doctor took me off the medication.
Okay.
And I knew vitamin D was very important because it helps your immune system. And I just don't like the fact that how many times have we seen media talk about, okay, this is what you need to do, exercise or eat the right foods or anything like that, because we know in our community, and especially in the black community, that our diabetes and heart disease, especially heart disease for women, black women, and diabetes for all of us as a whole is a danger to us anyway. You know what I'm saying? We die by the hundreds and thousands each year because of heart disease and diabetes, but nobody stops anything and say, hey, this is what y'all need to do.
Right.
You know, and this COVID, when COVID hit, I'm gonna tell you the best thing COVID had done for me, I had to learn to live by myself.
Oh wow.
Not going out to people or being around people. You know how social I am. I like to talk, gamble, laugh. And then for like I got furloughed off my job, so they called us in, got furloughed. So I came home. I ain't gonna tell you what my job is. That's another story. But I got furloughed, went home, and I'm like, all right, I can handle this. Man, it got about third week sitting in this house. I was like, bro, I gotta get out. I gotta go see something. Man, I even started going to the beach, bro. I jump in the truck and just drive to the beach.
Oh wow.
I just got tired of just being in here by myself, you know, because that's a stagnant feeling when you're not moving and you're not doing everything. And then you find out that sunlight helps you out because sunlight gives you natural vitamins, which your body helps produce when the sun hits you. But we lack certain things because of our skin color and things like that. But I just hate the fact that the government never told anybody these are the preventions.
Right.
Y'all need to go exercise. Y'all need to take some vitamins, some zinc, omega-3, vitamin D, things like that. Like me, I smoke cigarettes. I smoke like a train. And they ain't never tell me your receptors in your lungs are attracted to COVID. You know what I'm saying? Nobody never told me that. You know what I'm saying? I had to go read different things to find out what's going on to protect myself. But yeah, that's the strangest thing. You ain't no fake. Did it infect you kind of, or?
Well, not really. I mean, I had a friend that contracted it or whatever, but the friend wound up being fine or whatever. I'm gonna tell you what. You know, I know everybody was talking about like all of the negative stuff that happened, you know, when COVID hit, but I feel like that some good things came out of COVID-19 because people learned how to tap into their creativity. Because a lot of people got taken off of their jobs and they came up with creative. I ain't talking about the people that was doing illegal stuff. But I'm talking about people came up with creative ways to make money.
Like the mask.
Yeah, the mask. They started booming it.
I guess in our black culture, we'll make anything.
Man, they was making them out of socks. They was making them out of everything.
And I was like, okay, they doing this and they do. But no, it got me though. They didn't tell us the right way of what was the right mask.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People making some designer stuff. I said, that mask look good. Might kill you though.
That mask especially the ones that got them designer, like the Versace and them mask thin is all over.
And I was like, oh man. But see, and it's good that we came. And see, those are stories we need to talk about because a healthy mind, a happy mind, a cheerful mind, a merry heart helps those things. You know, it helps your health. Because depression makes you sicker, weakens your immunity when you're depressed. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I sat in the house, I felt weak. Just sitting in the house, you know, looking. Man, I have been so much television. I done started on old stuff I used to look at back in the day. Like what? Like Blacklist. Like Blacklist is current now, but I done caught up with I went back and looked at the first season.
Oh, I ain't never seen that.
The show The Mentalist.
I ain't never seen that.
That was on CBS a long time ago. It had a 7-year run. I done watched that over again.
Oh, wow.
So, but you're right, creativity. I have wrote more.
Right.
And that's why I want to, after the show, I want to show you some stuff that I did. You might can help direct me and stuff. But the fear of helping, and that's another thing we need to get back to. Remember back in the days when you can go to somebody's house, knock on the door, and say, "Can I have some sugar?"
Yeah. Oh, you can't do that now.
Or some flour. They probably think you're talking about cocaine or crack. they probably like, what you doing in my house? Ain't no drugs. But you remember them days when everybody, and even when somebody's water got turned off, they come to your house and get some water out of the faucet.
Yeah,
you know, they help that. They help that out, or even like, those are things we need to get back to that I think we have lost. That's a thing we lost on COVID. Because people don't care about other folks no more like they used to, like the elderly and stuff like that. Go checking on your next door neighbor, make sure they all right.
Right.
I've been seeing stuff like, found out the woman in the house 2 weeks dead.
Oh,
who didn't go check on her? Who didn't notice? Who didn't notice she didn't go check the mail or something? You know what I'm saying? Right. Or the mailman. Like yesterday, I'm going to give you an example of how local I am. I'm out in the country, y'all. I ain't going to tell y'all my spot. But the mail lady came to the door. She was delivering a package that I had. And the first thing she said, well, I met her out there, let's call it. And when she was thinking that I had a dog, I said, no man, I don't have a dog. Oh, she said, okay. And she came and brought me my mail, you know what I'm saying? That's the interactivity of, you know, a mail person, even in our local community, mate. But like, if you check their mailbox full, something wrong.
Right, yeah.
I was like, how can somebody sit in the house for 2 weeks dead?
That's crazy.
And that's another thing, before Corona happened, things like that happen periodically. You know what I'm saying? That why nobody cared enough to find out what's wrong with the person? You know what I'm saying? Why have we lost that as people? You know, we lost that piece of humanity to like, yeah, somebody was at your house. No, somebody, you always had that neighbor. Okay, I know who they was, but somebody was watching out for your house.
I'm telling you now I have a neighbor like that. Mm-hmm. If she see anybody around,
I'm sorry, y'all. Go ahead.
if she see anybody around my house, she will call me and be like, look, do you know this person? They driving this color car and this their tag number. Now she own it, but yeah, but a lot of people don't do that.
You know, sometimes you have people watch your house. They watching your house and steal stuff. See where
I hope don't nobody run up in the house, but we got some phone now.
I was gone one time. I'm telling you, this was a long time ago, man. And this is how bad it is, people watching your house. Went on vacation, bro. Come back, everything was gone almost. Except the VCR.
Oh, wow.
That's how back in the days it was. It was 90, but somebody's always watching. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can use it for the good and you can use it for the bad. But like I said, that's one thing I didn't like about COVID. One thing was the media. Not directing people on how to be healthier, and also our humanity of taking care of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like I walk in the store without a mask or something like that, and we shouldn't shame nobody because we're still a free country. But the fact that nobody's like cares, it seems like nobody cares no more. Like only if we get riled up about something, that's the only time we care.
Right.
Why caring? You should be caring when you up or when you down. You know what I'm saying? That's how you test someone's character. Is when your back is in the wall, are you still caring? Are you still happy? Or you still doing the right things? You know what I'm saying? Instead of the wrong things. But yeah, COVID, man, being by myself helped me a lot. Helped me focus. Helped me focus, and that's why I got to this point where I can do this conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? That would help me out the most. All right, let's go. Let's get back on topic. Book 2.
Okay.
So what happened between book 1? How long did it take you to do book 2?
I think book 2 was already started, and I just went ahead and finished it. And book 2 was The Pretty Crazies.
I like that title.
And I just wrote it, and once I wrote it, I published it. And I really get more feedback from The Pretty Crazies. Everybody's talking about, and The Pretty Crazies is actually the first book that I want to turn into a movie.
Okay. Pretty Crazy. Then don't tell everybody everything, because we want them to buy the book.
Right.
But gives us like a
detail. The Pretty Crazies basically was about a young man who was stringing along 4 women. And each of the 4 women have like a mental issue. But the 4 women find out about each other, and 2 of the 4 women share a deep, dark, twisted secret.
That sounds good.
So to find out what the secret is, you gotta get the book.
Actually, I downloaded it. I haven't started it.
But I'm telling you, it is.
I'm gonna get into it because I downloaded it on Amazon. I called you earlier, this week? I think Sunday. I've been pestering all week. I think I did it Monday. I need to start on it. I'm going to start on it probably.
And there is going to be a part 2 to The Pretty Crazies called Handsomely Insane.
So how long did it take you between, you said you was already writing that when you had book 1?
Because I don't write my books 1 and then I finish it and then write another. I write my books I could write 2, 3, 4 books at one time.
Man. And see, that's the thing I need to get to too there, because I wrote this first script because it's gonna be 5 stories. And they short films. So you see me, I got the cameras and stuff, but it's just gathering people. And how do you see, when you write a book, you don't need nobody else. Right. You just need yourself.
Right.
In your environment and things, But when you do stuff like what I'm doing right now, it's so hard, and this part you can add on to this. It's about the dream, being a dreamer. And all my life, I always wanted to be in media. All my life, I always watch TV. I always used to watch movies. I love movies. I can tell you producers, and I can tell you directors. I can get deep into it. But then it comes to a point, and let me tell you who helped me out though. Tyler Perry. Now some stuff I don't agree about Tyler Perry. But Tyler Perry gonna come one day. Tyler Perry gonna call me and say, "Hey man, you need to bring that stuff over here." But right now, business wise, a genius.
Right.
Because I always tell somebody this. I told somebody this yesterday, and they asked me what I meant by that. I said you must master your foundation in order to master other things.
Right.
That means you perfect something, and then you move on to the next level.
Right.
Like Oprah just didn't become Oprah. The Oprah you see now, I remember when she was out in the field in Tennessee talking on a mic with a camera, local news. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She started somewhere. She perfected something. Then she moved to talk shows.
Right.
Then she moved to magazines. Then she moved to networking. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. People just don't jump into one thing. You have to perfect something first. So people be like, hey, you got something going on.
Right.
Let's take this to another level. And that will help me out with you because Martin Maxwell Media LLC started off with a school project. We were in a school project in business. You had to create a business. And he wanted to see the business plan.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I came up with Martin Maxwell Media LLC. And I said I want all my content because I know the horrible stories of music and television and book writing that you have informed me because it's so similar to music. Mm-hmm. With track masters and stuff like that because masters of your music, just because we know Prince went through that. You know, he had to change his name because he gonna say, there ain't nobody gonna carry none of my name no more. And Warner Bros. Owned to get his masters back. And like Lionel Richie, a lot of people don't know how wealthy Lionel Richie is because he owns the masters of all his music.
Right.
So anytime you hear a Lionel Richie song on a commercial, Lionel Richie getting paid.
That's right.
When Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog and that Revolution Nike commercial came out on the Super Bowl thing, Michael Jackson got paid for owning those masters of the Beatles. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so ownership and things like that, I don't know where I'm going with this. But that's how I came with my company, which I'm a master this, but at the same time work on other things on the outside like my scripts and my books and things like that, things I have written over years. I've been writing since I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
My mom got my first poem I ever wrote when I was like second grade, like the poem. She still had it on a piece of paper. So things like that, and that's at my dad's funeral. I saw a movie. And the movie touched me because it was about life and about carrying the story of your parents on. You becoming, like you take something from your parent and you take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad used to watch television. I used to sit there and watch television with my dad when I was a little kid, when I was 6 years old. My dad was the best dad. You know, he left my mom and stuff, but I remember those things. Those things stuck with me, you know, like cowboy toys and things like that. Until the day he died, you still watch them black and white movies. But you want to take it to another level. What can I do with this? How can I make this better? And social media has made it better for me to start something that I like to do.
Right.
And when you find out you're a dreamer and you love, it's hard to bring people into your dream if they're not dreaming it.
Right.
So I had to do this on my own first to encourage others. Hey, we can do this. This is real. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be spiteful, like, man, you ain't. I did that all my life. I said, I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
People like that, man.
Because I need to learn. And one thing I learned in the military, you always learning. Right. You always continue to learn. And no matter how big you get, how rich you get, you can still be that sponge to soak up information and learn things like that. And that's another thing about our life in this day and age of helping one another. You know what I'm saying? I'm not helping you. You know what I'm saying? You already did your job. You helping me. You know what I'm saying? You give me something to talk about, something that I love to talk about. I love to talk to people. And that's why I call it Martin Maxwell and Friends, because I love to talk to people about things. I like to find out what's going on in your head. What got you where you at? Can I take a piece of that? You know what I'm saying? Take a piece of that and put it in my life so I can move on, so I can get better, you know, things like that. Because we ain't getting younger.
Right.
But I promised myself, I said, I'm 46. I said my first 46 years, I gave the world. I gave it to the world. How about I give some to me?
Right.
And I said 50 years. I said the next 50 years, let me live it like better, educated, knowledgeable, and be better and what I need to do, what I want to do, what I love, what I dream. You know what I'm saying? And it's never too late because I watched like Stan Lee died 90 years old, and when he was writing comic books in the 60s and 50s and stuff like that, he really didn't get his respect until the 2000s when they started doing his movies and things like that. They did movies before, but not on this scale of what they doing now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know what Marvel is now. I remember. Who thought about Marvel when they was kids? You know what I'm saying? Right. All we knew was Spider-Man, jumping across something, Captain America, we know a little bit about something. But they done took the dream and took the master foundation that Stan Lee had and made it bigger than what it was. You know what I'm saying? Comic books were for nerds. Comic books were for the outside people, them guys in the corner at your school reading, giggling, reading little books and stuff. Who giggling now? You know what I'm saying? Who giggling now? They giggling right to the bank. You know what I'm saying? I know it's all about monetary, but it's about the dream has been pushed to another level. And like I said about my dad, and I was going back to that movie. The movie was about family and the girl in search of who her dad and mom was. And just taking it to the next level. And then I remember being at the funeral and I was talking about my dad and I was talking about the story of life and how you could be the next chapter to your parents.
Right.
Although I don't care how bad it was, I don't care how good it was. But just take it to another level without with no regrets, no hatred towards the person and things like that. Do something good with it, you know?
Right.
And I heard tonight, like I was listening to a podcast tonight, and the guy was like, he was like, revenge. It's like revenge is for poor people. Because they ain't got nothing to lose, you know what I'm saying? But when you got something to lose, you think about stuff more. You know what I'm saying? When you got something to lose, not monetary, but you build, even your reputation or what you build, you just want to make it better. You know, I want my children to be better than I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want just like the Kennedys and stuff like that, and the Nassys. We go back about the old families and stuff of America. How did they make it better? You know what I'm saying? Technology came better, so they stepped into another level. But that's basically what I think about life right now, is just trying to make things better. Getting off the subject, I know. So we did book 1, we did book 2. Now we talking about book 3.
Book 3 is Linkage, and Linkage is basically about a group of people that's all tied together through this social media app or chat line.
So using modern day technology in this book. Linkage.
No, actually, Linkage is like the phone. Linkage was like based on like phone chat line stories that had happened to people I knew.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that, like my poetry, right? I based on conversations, things I know, people I heard, people say something, not directly, it's how it builds my emotion to, hey, that's how I feel about this. You know what I'm saying? This is how I understand it. So like when you started writing that, so you had your foundation or your premise.
Well, actually, what happened was I was gonna write a book called The Chat Line, but it was gonna be like a little short book, and I wanted to have like 10 nasty stories in it, and I was gonna sell that to make money to put out my other book. But then when I started writing it, the 100 pages turned into 300 pages, that turned into 600 pages. So
how you know what's enough though? How you know how many pages is enough?
Because it's no cutoff point. You cut it off when your story is finished. And if it say 600 or 1,000 pages to finish your story, then you just finish your story. But you don't want to cut the story off too soon, and then you don't want to drag it too long.
Yeah, and then people be like, oh, like, okay. So that's what I need to think about too when I write, because I be thinking like, did I go too long? Did I get long-winded?
As long as people, I feel like you can never go. You can't go too long. As long now, once your characters are finished, if you keep going, then you went too long. But once the characters have did everything that they need to do in the story, then your story is over.
Okay. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cause I be wondering, like, when you go to the bookstores and stuff. Yes, I still go to bookstores, and I pick up a book here and there. But I think like the motivation of writing, the length of it, you know, because the story that captures you, you don't care how long it is. Because by the time you get caught into the story, you make yourself part of the story. You read it, you be like, man, I read this book in a day. And it's like 600, 700 pages.
Yeah.
And you get caught and captured it. That's, I think, very important about a story. But you don't think about that when you're writing the book. Because it's your story. It's what you write and what you believe in, you know?
Right. So, and I actually had a girl that when I was in school, she bought the book that morning. Linkage is like 600 or some pages. She bought the book that morning when I got to school. By the time I got ready to leave, she was through with it.
Wow, that is so crazy.
Yeah.
So what you doing now though after that?
I am currently working on 2 more new books. I'm working on a book called The Night Has No Eyes.
The Night Has No Eyes.
Yes, and I'm working.
Is this a horror?
No, it's not a horror book.
Okay.
No, it's not a horror.
You ever think about what type of books you write? Well, how do you classify your books?
My books are classified as like, I don't know. I just would consider my books literary gumbo. Because you know if you get gumbo, you get a little bit of everything. So if you get one of my books, you're gonna get a little bit of everything. You're gonna get that erotic stuff. You're gonna get that crazy over the top stuff. You're gonna get the love story. You're gonna get and you're gonna get it all mushed together.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm working on that. The Night Has No Eyes, and I'm also working on a short book called Blood of the Bullets.
Wow. So are you writing simultaneously? Writing each book? I mean, just writing.
Yeah, I write. And then that's another reason why I don't really get writer's block like that. Because if I'm writing one book and then it stops, then I just jump on the other book and start writing. Then I just go back to the.
Wow. Now you're gonna be surprised about this. We've been talking for an hour.
Oh wow.
But I like the fact that we covered your books and we talked about life and things like that. But you have anything to give to anybody, if you could take one piece of, since you've been writing, and you could give it to somebody, what would it be?
And I know this may sound so cliche, but I'm telling you, whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's writing or what, you gotta put God first. You gotta put God first, and you have to pray. And I'm telling you, if you pray with a sincere heart, God will allow the people that you need to cross your path.
And that's why I tell a lot of people don't know a lot of principles in life that even sweat from the brow and things like that. Because I've talked about Bill Gates, and Bill Gates is one of the main person I talk about. I said these guys didn't wake up and became billionaires.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They had to work at it. They had to put action to it. It's just like dating. A girl don't like a man just full of talk. You better put some action in it and show her that you love her. You know what I'm saying? Or love that person, or love your mother, or love your friend. Well, however it goes. I mean, because if you don't put action in it, it's not gonna get touched by anybody. You're not gonna get that help or people won't see that dream. You know what I'm saying? It won't follow through. You won't get those prayers answered, or, I mean, you know, because we have people who are Muslims and we have people of Hindu beliefs and things like that.
Right.
But it comes down to the same principle.
Right.
The same principles go into action of doing what you're supposed to do, and then what you love too. Because anything you love, you ain't gonna put your half heart in it.
Right.
You know, because you love it and that's what you want to do and you continue to do it. Now, have you done shows or anything? Have you done, how's the end of this? I mean, not the end, but how has, I mean, your audience, you gotta.
Well, you know, I write books, and I also, in addition to write books, I also do music. I haven't did music in a while.
I ain't heard about the music, bro.
Yeah, I was actually doing music before I started writing books.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I'm still gonna do the books. I have some more books coming. I have some new music coming, and I'm doing some ministry related stuff too.
Okay. So that's the thing, because you got your 3 books out. You know what I'm saying? Some people be like, "Well, I'm finished." You know what I'm saying? But you continue to create.
Yeah, I have 3 books out, but I'm trying to write 50 books in the next 9 months.
How many books?
Like 10 months. 50. I have 50 books that I want to complete in the next 10 months.
So you gonna write? Are these gonna be like novels?
Yeah, they're gonna be some of them are gonna be full novels, and then some of them are gonna be like short stories
compiled together and put into one book.
No, each of the 50 have its own. It's gonna be its own book.
So when you finish your next book, you need to come on the show then. so we could look at this and see where you're at.
Okay.
But let's make sure you get this next book. So how close you finished the next book?
Well, the Night Has No Eyes. I am putting the finishing touches on that, and then the Blood of the Bullies, which is a short story. It's like halfway through, but I want to make sure it's good and juicy.
So when you say you're finishing touches, are you going back through the whole book, everything you wrote?
No, I'm just putting the finishing chapters on it to like close the story out.
Okay, so now how about editing? Do you have somebody edit your stuff?
My first couple books, I just went over it myself. I might get somebody to go and look over it or
read it, a sample of it and see what they like.
Yeah.
Okay. So 50 books.
I want to do 50 books and see. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna try.
He gonna try, y'all. This is on episode 1. This gonna be cool because if you come back like episode 25 and did 25 books, after I get 25 guests, you know what I'm saying, during that time. But I want you to come back though.
Okay.
So we're gonna see where you at.
All right.
And hopefully I have my first script done because I got to get it done.
All right.
But I thank you for helping me. Like I said, you and Mike, y'all helped me out so much when I was in a time when it was dark. And it was crazy for me. Like, I couldn't see nothing.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't want to do nothing. I was going to school at the same time. So I was taking a full load. And I just didn't feel like doing anything, bro. I didn't feel like, I was just like mentally and emotionally tired. But when we went on that trip, it woke me up. Finished up school, graduated. And I'm going back to school, though, also. But at that point in time, y'all helped me out. And I appreciate that so much. All right, so they can go to Amazon.
Amazon.com.
And we're going to put all this information. We're going to put all your information on the bottom of the screen and stuff like that when we edit this.
Yeah, they can go to Amazon.com to get the books. If they want to reach out to me, they can reach out to me through Facebook, Yancey Uriah. And my new website will be up hopefully at the beginning of the year.
Okay, and also y'all can find him on my friends list on Mark Maxwell on Facebook.
Right.
And we're going to make that possible. We're going to put all the links up. We're going to put all your things up. I think when you're done with Facebook, I tell people, some people ask me, do I know you? I was like, no. But I'm going to have a present for y'all. I'm going to do some episodes and stuff like this. And it took me a year and a half to get to this point. But I thank for my friends and you too for, being a good friend. You know what I'm saying? Helping me out. See, you didn't even know you was helping me out at the time.
Oh, wow.
But we're going to do this.
And thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, man. It's all about helping each other. And hopefully this can pass on to other people. And then my next guest, whoever I have, that we can talk about, because we want to talk normal too. You're a normal person, you know what I'm saying? We put our pants on, our clothes on, we brush our teeth the same way, you know what I'm saying? But we just got to understand about getting that humanity back into us to help each other out. No matter, I can call you up 3 or 4 months later and say, man, hey, can you do this for me? Or, hey, can you do this for me? That's what it's all about, man. And I thank you for coming, bro.
You're welcome. Again, thank you for having me.
All right. Hey, y'all, thanks for watching. Martin Maxwell and Friends. Yancey Uriah. Gonna be on Facebook, on my Facebook page too, on his Facebook. We're gonna put all the information on the bottom of the screen. And we thank you and come back.